Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Hope is standing at a crossroads again, and this time the stakes feel heavier than ever. Every choice she makes seems to pull her deeper into complicated territory, where love, loyalty, ambition, and family collide in ways she never fully expects. What looks calm on the surface hides for major challenges that could reshape her future, not just professionally, but emotionally and personally. These aren't small obstacles. They're risky situations filled with emotional landmines, power struggles, and family drama that refuse to stay buried. The first challenge facing Hope is the constant pressure surrounding her career and identity. For years, Hope has tried to prove that she can stand on her own without leaning on her family name or past relationships. But no matter how hard she works, there's always someone questioning whether she truly belongs where she is. Every decision she makes at work is scrutinized, not just as a professional choice, but as a reflection of who she is as a person. That pressure becomes suffocating, especially when mistakes aren't treated as learning moments, but as proof that she was never good enough to begin with. What makes this challenge even more dangerous is the temptation to take risks she normally wouldn't consider. When Hope feels cornered, she tends to push herself harder, sometimes ignoring her own instincts. She wants success so badly that she's willing to gamble everything she's built. But in a world where one wrong move can cost her credibility, those risks could easily backfire. The fear of failure sits quietly in the background, influencing her choices in ways she doesn't always recognize until it's too late. At the same time, Hope struggles with the emotional fallout of being constantly compared to others. No matter how much progress she makes, someone is always ready to remind her of her past or hold her to an impossible standard. That emotional weight chips away at her confidence. She starts questioning her own judgment, wondering whether she deserves the position she's fighting so hard to protect. This internal battle becomes just as exhausting as the external conflicts she faces every day. Her second challenge is deeply rooted in her personal relationships, especially the ones that blur the line between love and obligation. Hope has always believed in emotional honesty, but lately, honesty feels like a liability. Every conversation carries hidden meanings, and every interaction feels like it could shift the balance of her life. She finds herself trapped between what her heart wants and what logic tells her is safer. There's a growing sense of uncertainty in her romantic life, one that refuses to be ignored. Trust doesn't come easily anymore, and even moments of happiness feel fragile. Hope can sense when something isn't right, yet she often pushes those feelings aside, hoping they'll disappear on their own. Instead, they grow stronger, creating tension that seeps into every aspect of her life. Love, once her greatest source of strength, now feels like a risk she's not sure she can afford. What makes this challenge particularly painful is the fear of repeating old patterns. Hope knows how easily love can turn into heartbreak, and she's terrified of making the same mistakes again. She wants stability, but she's drawn to emotional intensity. That contradiction leaves her constantly second-guessing herself. Is she protecting her heart, or is she running away from something real? The answer isn't clear, and that uncertainty keeps her stuck in emotional limbo. Her third challenge involves family, the one area of her life that should feel safe but rarely does. Family dynamics around Hope are anything but simple. Long-standing tensions, unresolved resentments, and unspoken expectations create an environment where every interaction feels loaded. Even casual conversations can quickly spiral into emotional confrontations, dragging old wounds back to the surface. Hope often finds herself playing the role of peacemaker, even when it costs her peace of mind. She tries to keep everyone together, believing that unity is worth the sacrifice. But that role comes with a heavy price. By prioritizing everyone else's feelings, Hope neglects her own, allowing frustration and resentment to build quietly inside her. Eventually, that emotional pressure has to go somewhere, and when it does, the fallout can be intense. The family drama becomes even more complicated when personal choices clash with family expectations. Hope feels pulled in different directions, torn between loyalty and self-preservation. She wants approval, but not at the cost of her independence. Every time she sets a boundary, it's met with resistance, guilt, or disappointment. That constant push and pull leaves her emotionally drained, questioning whether she'll ever be able to live life on her own terms without hurting the people she loves. Her fourth and perhaps most dangerous challenge is the emotional risk she takes by holding on to hope itself. Hope believes in second chances, in redemption, in the idea that people can change. That belief defines her, but it also leaves her vulnerable. She gives more chances than most would, often ignoring red flags because she wants to see the best in everyone. While that optimism is admirable, it can also be a weakness, especially in a world where not everyone has good intentions. This challenge forces Hope to confront a painful truth. Not every situation can be fixed with patience and understanding. Sometimes, holding on does more harm than letting go. Yet letting go feels like failure to her. It feels like giving up on everything she stands for. That internal conflict keeps her stuck in situations that drain her emotionally, situations that slowly erode her sense of self. As these four challenges collide, Hope's life becomes a delicate balancing act. Each decision she makes affects multiple areas of her world, creating ripple effects she can't always predict. A choice meant to protect her career might strain her family relationships. An attempt to preserve love could jeopardize her sense of independence. Nothing exists in isolation anymore, and that reality forces Hope to grow in ways she never anticipated. What makes this period in Hope's life so intense is the realization that she can't please everyone. No matter how carefully she chooses her words or actions, someone will be disappointed. Accepting that truth is one of the hardest lessons she's ever faced. It challenges her long-held belief that harmony is always achievable if you try hard enough. Sometimes, conflict is unavoidable. The pressure, the expectations, the emotional strain. It builds until she can barely breathe. In those moments, she questions whether she's strong enough to keep going. But even in her darkest moments, there's a quiet resilience that refuses to fade. She may doubt herself, but she doesn't give up easily. That inner strength becomes her anchor, reminding her that she's survived difficult times before. As the drama intensifies, Hope begins to see herself more clearly. She recognizes patterns in her behavior, the way she sacrifices too much, the times she ignores her own needs. That self-awareness is uncomfortable, but it's also empowering. It gives her the opportunity to make different choices, even if those choices are painful. Growth, she realizes, doesn't come from avoiding challenges, but from facing them head-on. Still, the risks remain. Every step forward carries uncertainty. Hope knows that change won't come without consequences. Relationships may shift, alliances may break, and trust may be tested. But staying the same is no longer an option. The cost of inaction is just as high as the risk of change, if not higher. At the heart of it all is Hope's desire for a life that feels authentic. She wants love that doesn't feel like a battlefield, work that doesn't require constant self-defense, and family relationships that don't demand endless sacrifice. Achieving that balance won't be easy, and it certainly won't happen overnight. But acknowledging these four challenges is the first step towards something better. Hope's journey isn't just about overcoming obstacles. It's about redefining what strength looks like. Strength isn't always about holding on. Sometimes, it's about knowing when to walk away. Sometimes, it's about choosing yourself, even when that choice disappoints others. And sometimes, it's about accepting that uncertainty is part of growth. As risky situations escalate and family drama deepens, Hope stands at a turning point. The decisions she makes now will shape her future in ways she can't fully imagine yet. But one thing is certain, she can't keep living for everyone else. Whether she realizes it or not, Hope is learning that true courage comes from trusting herself, even when the path ahead is unclear. And as the tension continues to build, one question lingers in the air. Will Hope finally choose a path that protects her heart, her dreams, and her sense of self, or will these four challenges pull her deeper into chaos? The answer lies in the choices she's about to make, choices that will test her resilience, redefine her relationships, and determine whether Hope itself can survive the storm. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.